and roller. Go blue, stand up, get your hands in the sky. O to the D-line, come on, get behind. The home team, somebody scream. Go blue, come catch the feeling. Reach for the ceiling, cause we getting that banner and we'll hang it up high. Scream for the home team, new rings and trophies. Go blue, go Colts, go blue, go Colts. You wanna rock, you wanna roll, we gonna win it, the Super Bowl. Let's go. You wanna rock, you wanna roll, we gonna take it, the Super Bowl. You saw that comeback, you saw the drive. Tony D on the side.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Braydyn Bear back at it again with another episode of Bleed Bloody Blue. And we got the dub. We got the dub in the 20-17 victory. Of course, it was rough seeing Ryan Kelly and Jonathan Taylor out in the game with very extreme injuries, but it's really nice to see the Colts win without these guys. It was a decent game. I'm not going to say it was a great game. I would say it was decent. Both teams, you could tell, were very rocky. Will Levis sucks. And not only that, but these Colts are decent in terms of offensive play. Wide receivers were good near the fourth quarter. But we'll get into all of that in this episode. Of course, this is the 6th week of the NFL season, which means this is our 6th straight podcast of Bleed Bloody Blue. And we got another W to go 3-2 on the year. And of course, we are over, like I said, this week's been different. But as I said, the Indianapolis Colts, without a lot of guys, were able to get the job done today. And so that makes me have to go into the game, which I like. I loved the style of this game with a veteran quarterback on one side and what is a rookie on the other. And Will Levis was terrible. He was terrible today. He wasn't very good. Let's just say that. He was, first of all, rocky, shaky, like he always is. But this is taken to an extreme. If I were the Tennessee Titans, I would deeply be reconsidering getting players in the draft. No, this is not supposed to be possible at all for these Titans. They've had horrible luck getting quarterbacks in the last several years. Marcus Mariota was probably their best one that they had back in the 2010s, but nobody's lived up to the hype of Steve McNair. And as we see in Will Levis' stats, and I know this is an Indianapolis Colts podcast, but we do need to address the other side too. Will Levis with 93 yards, only one interception and one touchdown today. As I said, he looked very rocky. But in terms of the rest of the team, almost like how Will Howard played last night for the Ohio State Buckeyes, and don't even get me into that. The other players on this team were crap too. Very crap, just crap. And the receivers weren't as good on both sides of the ball. I would also say, you want to talk about a good quarterback, as we mentioned, Will Levis, he's a bad one. It was not too hot, it was not too cold, it was just right for Joe Flacco, who was 22 of 38 today for 189 yards, 2 touchdowns, had only 1 interception. He was good. He doesn't play like a veteran. He plays more like a experienced fifth-year quarterback who had gotten into his 4.5 season on the team. He doesn't play like a veteran anymore. When you see him in Baltimore, when I saw him in Baltimore, he was good, just not up to his fullest potential. Since he got off the couch and got traded from the Ravens to the free agency, he was sitting on the couch watching the Cleveland Browns suffer, and he's like, I just want to get off this couch and do something. So that's exactly what he did. He got off the couch and led the Browns to an ultimate season. And my corrections, I said 3-2, will be 3-3 after this game today. But Joe Flacco was good. Really good. I would say fresh and talented. He doesn't play like a veteran. He's playing, as I said, like a fifth-year quarterback. This is really good football Flacco has produced. But last week he couldn't get it done with the sack at the end. And just wide receivers still can't catch for crap. But these Colts, they are not good in receiving, but they have a good four-way system at quarterback because Anthony Richardson just cannot stay healthy for crap. It's not like we're going to put Ellinger in there. We only put him in there to tank. Do not put Ellinger in there unless we're going to tank. I would say this, the Indianapolis Colts don't need any more quarterbacks tanking in the next few years. I'm sick of it myself. Beyond sick of it. Because we just can't keep our O-line healthy. This is the same thing that happens every 2 years. We can't keep our O-line healthy, yet we can keep our quarterbacks healthy. And then the quarterback gets hurt and everybody's unhealthy. But yeah, Jonathan Taylor out of this game today. And with that being said, Ryan Kelly, the center, out again. 2 straight weeks. Last week was a knee injury. This week's a calf injury. It's really bad. We really need to consider possibly, like I said, these centers that they make out of Notre Dame, that they produce out of there impress me. Ryan Kelly was one of those that really impressed me at first. But let me tell you that I will say the Colts need more breaded talent. And we're not going to have a Just Saturday in 2024. And thank God we don't have Just Saturday as a coach. But in terms of rushing, you know who made it up? Tyler Godson and Trey Sermon. Both of them today made it up. But all I was saying was that those three and Joe Flacco, like I said, Godson, Goodson, Sermon, and Flacco all did a good job today. And I will say Flacco is good. He is good. And plays like a experienced quarterback who's about ready to go to a title game. He could lead us to the AFC wild card at least at the end of the season. But Josh Downs had a good game today. He's a real bright spot on the wide receiving end. Well, Allie Cox had some few sacks today. Had some few catches today. And Michael Pittman was good as always. But my goodness, Josh Downs is one of those. We got him from Texas, and he was really, really solid when he was there too. Today he had 66 yards for 1 touchdown, with his longest reception being at 22 and 7 receptions. And I will tell you that we are good with him. He's such a talent. D-line is such a talent. But he really makes up for what is lost receivers. And if we could have more like him, it would be very nice. Because then we could have to downplay these speedy wide receivers with more speedy and elusive running backs that can really help us out. Because what we're trying to do, that Tennessee tried doing a year ago, was we get Jonathan Taylor, who's specifically now injured, and we make him the next Derrick Henry. And he was so good in Tennessee, ran us up all over. But let me tell you that it's really, to say the least, we don't have that yet in the running back position. We don't have that yet in the wide receiver position. We don't have one that can do both. And I can tell you that Joe Flacco does a good job otherwise. And so do these guys and Josh Downs, for at least trying to make up some of the running room. And who would have ever thought I would say Joe Flacco would be doing good in the rushing game? But Josh Downs is a really good wide receiver and a really good running back. So if we could have one that can do both, we'll have one that can do both. But I was saying again with Sermon and Goodson, they both ran for about 70-plus yards today. And they both look decent. Josh Downs looked good. Just needs to improve some with that receiving core that cannot catch anything sometimes. But after a word from today's sponsor, we'll describe a little bit more about the Colts and where they stand going into next week against the struggling Miami Dolphins.
This video or podcast is sponsored by Amazon Music. Thousands of podcasts and shows are made every day, from the conversations of Joe Rogan to the crimes of Morbid, and music by 50 Cent and Sabrina Carpenter. Amazon Music has the right taste in music, podcasts, and shows for you. With a growing audience of 52.5 million people using Amazon Music every day, you can help in a contributing way to benefit this new version of what was once called radio. With thousands of music and podcasts to listen to, you can listen to our podcast too, keeping things in the middle. And with you signing up, listening to one of our episodes on your app or on your computer, you can help my podcast grow to become an ever-expanding podcast group and become a new member of our listening on Amazon Music. Please use our offer down in the description below, and it would help me a lot because it would help me earn a little bit of money. Amazon Music, the site where you need to go to listen to podcasts, stories, and music that may have you bopping the whole night through. Now, let's get to the show.
Now, welcome back to the Bleed Bloody Blue podcast, the official home of Indianapolis Colts football, and hosted by me, Braydyn Bear-Lents. You can go subscribe to my YouTube channel today, WBRA Radio FM. And no, it's not a real radio station. I wish it was, but we do have content related to radio commentary and sports. One thing about the channel is that I haven't posted anything. Much, actually. And we've had a very active sports season so far. University, almost done with it. Having to get the final 2 months in order. And I can see myself making content full-time by December. Just by December. Podcasts will regularly be a thing on the weekends. But I've had to really, this whole week, like I said, I was caught with a case of listeria. And ate something with listeria in it. And so I was sick for a little bit. Trying to get back on that train again. And of course, we have the college basketball season. The basketball season's coming up pretty soon. So we got that to look forward to. And of course, the election is coming up, which I'm not excited for that as a sports fan. But politics aside, I will hope to have at least one of the Let's Go Braydyn podcasts air about my opinions on the election, but that might be the only one we run for a whole year, because we haven't had one of those since 2023. And yes, it's loosely based off my favorite president, Donald Trump. And so you could go watch those coming up pretty soon. And when I talked about college basketball, I talked about the Cinderella Slippers podcast. That's coming back. But I just said we're just finishing, like, this week is midterms. This week's midterms. And so with the IU football team doing really, really good right now, you may see some content out of that. Some other college football content in the near future, college basketball content in the near future, that sort of stuff. But we are hoping to get fully back on the saddle again, starting late November, early December. And possibly through the end of December as well. Going into next year, which I will tell you this year has been rocky for me. It's not been well, and it's been a really hard year to say the least. Not extremely hard, but just really hard. But you can go watch that content there. I don't like flushing my life and making this a therapy session. So I was just telling you all what I'm doing. And so, thank you all for the listeners that listen every single week. We don't have many. We don't have much. We'll do more crime if you're listening to this on Spotify and all that sort of stuff. And then you can also visit thelagoditimes.com. That is where I will post news about the community that my grandmother lived in and stuff like that. Brand new website. I've been very busy with that. And the Substack account, which you can also check out by going to Substack.com and searching the Bearman Journal. That does it for me in terms of all that announcements and all that stuff. But the big thing that you need to know is I am finishing up school. And it's been a lot. I will say we're about 7 weeks away from me graduating full time. And it's been a real stressor. I think that's been more of a stressor than sports. And even the election's a little bit of a stressor. But I will tell you that everything's going good for the most part. And the Indianapolis Colts won today, so I'm happy about that. And we'll still produce these Bleed Bloody Blue podcasts as we go throughout the year. Now, I just wanted to mention that we don't know who the starting quarterback is going to be for the Indianapolis Colts when we play against the Miami Dolphins. And we don't even know who the starting QB is going to be for the Dolphins once we play them at Lucas Oil Stadium. Yes, we'll be back at the Horseshoe once again. And it's going to be really good, really nice seeing the Colts back home. But it was a fun, exhilarating, it will be a fun, exhilarating week as we should be beating the Dolphins single-handedly next week. Quarterback play, running back play, wide receiver play, we don't know. We're beating teams that are ranked 28th and below in their conference and even in the whole NFL. And we do appreciate when we get wins against the Tennessee Titans and Dolphins, but the Indianapolis Colts will really have to figure out that quarterback play and really have to figure out who's going to play at running back. Trey Sermon, as I mentioned, is really, really good. I'm not saying he isn't good or great. I'm saying he's really, really good. But now we go up against a Dolphins team that basically, I think they were on a bye, but then we got a challenge against the Houston Texans the week after that. And then we're going to have the Vikings on the November 3rd and Bills on the 10th. And that should be a fun one because Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs are going to be coming to town. And the Vikings have been on a roll. So the next 3 games after this game against the Dolphins are not cupcake games. They are real football contests. Because the Texans have Stroud, the Vikings have Darnold and a great offensive line that could beat us at Minnesota. And then you remember one thing that's bringing me PTSD every time I mention the Vikings. 36-0. Okay, I'm just going to leave it at that. 36-0. Worst loss in Colts history. Bar none. Besides, like I said, we were able to get it done against the Buffalo Bills when we play that next week. And back in 1997, we had come back, all the way back, in week 4, I think it was. And it was one of the more popular comebacks in NFL history. That's also less than forgotten about. But we have some cupcake games. We have a cupcake game this next week. And then after that, it's just all full speed ahead in terms of meeting against teams that are powerful. Because we got the Texans on October 27th. Vikings, as mentioned, on November 3rd. Bills, as mentioned, at Lucas Oil on November 10th. The Jets, would you say it's a cupcake? No, I don't think so. I don't think that'll be a cupcake. I think the Colts can win that one. Lions are definitely hard. And then after that, we go back at the December route around Christmas. We got the Patriots and we got bye week. Yeah, we got a bye week that week. And then we got the Broncos, Titans, Giants, and Jaguars all left. And where that stands and goes as the year goes on, like I'll tell you right now, the Texans are the best team in the AFC South. Bar none. They're the best team in the AFC South. And I will say that they could win it all this year. We don't have that confidence yet to be building ourselves up as possible opponents that will compete in the AFC South. What I'm saying is that we got a lot of room to try and turn the corner with the next few weeks ahead of us and maybe be front runners for that crown. But it's going to be really hard to do that with the type of play that we're playing right now. In terms of the rest of the league today, like I said, I was going to mention about the Dolphins, but I was going to get to some scores from today. 49ers, of course, beat the Seahawks on Thursday, 36-24. The Bears got a win in London against the Jaguars, 35-16. Buccaneers are going to beat the Saints with a minute 55 left in the fourth with a wowing score of 51-27. The Ravens play against the Commanders. That's going to be and that was when the Ravens beat the Commanders today, 30-23. Packers beat the Cardinals today, 34-13 at Lambeau. And we beat the Titans today, 20-17. The Texans, right, have just beaten the New England Patriots. And every time I mention the Patriots, I think it's Tom Brady and company, but it's not. 41-21. The Eagles beat the Browns, which are just trash, and you need to get rid of Deshaun Watson right now. I don't care. If you're in Cleveland, get rid of him. 20-16, and the Eagles are junk too. The Broncos are right now trailing the LA Chargers 3-0 in the first quarter with 7 minutes and 59 seconds left. And with what is probably one of the best, now this is a game that I'm going to mention that's really, 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 really good to play in the winter. Raiders and Steelers, John Madden, Troy Aikman, or John Madden, Terry Bradshaw, and company. Greatest D-line. So many good memories with that game. Raiders are leading 7-3 in the first quarter with 4:24 left. The rest of the games that are going on right now, I'm actually watching the Lions and Cowboys. That is starting right now at Dallas. And then the Panthers are playing against the Falcons. It should be an easy Falcons win. And then they're going to be playing here at 4:25. And then the Bengals and Giants will be playing tonight on Sunday Night Football. On Monday Night Football, as many of you are watching the Yankees and Guardians, the Bills and the Jets will meet at New York to play in the Monday Night Football match, which many people don't care down for the New York Jets because a lot of their fans are near Flushing. And tonight, and this I know is going to be out of analogy of football, it's baseball. New York's got both the Mets and the Yankees to worry about too, so hopefully that doesn't corrupt a lot of traffic. But you just imagine you're just playing 2 minutes away from each other, and the Mets and the Yankees can both meet in the World Series. We don't see, like in my opinion, I don't see the Mets going, but I could see the Dodgers going. But to New York and playing the Yankees. But again, we have to hold out a lot of hope that the New York Mets could win this series and win it all. They're not really underdogs. They're something other than underdogs. They're just so good. They're just so good. But I'm not a Mets fan, but oh my God, they are so good. See what I did there? But yeah, the Indianapolis Colts back on the train of the Colts in the playoffs and not baseball. The Indianapolis Colts next week will play against the Miami Dolphins. Both of those games, we will have to see who the quarterback is. I'll keep you guys informed on that. But for the meantime, it seems like the Colts are going to be on the right direction with Joe Flacco if he can keep playing the way he's playing. But the Texans, in my opinion, will win the AFC South this season. Thought that on week 1. But it's going to be something weird at Indianapolis without having Ari Favendijk at the helm. If he continues to play bad, I do not like saying get an experienced veteran, but I'm about ready for an experienced veteran. I'm about ready for a veteran to come into Indianapolis and be like Joe Flacco and continue the role he's been doing. Kicking was good today. Punting was good today, as usual. But for the most part, the Colts got the win today, which is all that matters. And when we play the Dolphins, we don't know who the quarterback's going to be. Tyreek Hill can run all over us, but we have to really prepare the defense for the best. The quarterback will be easy to stop, but not Tyreek Hill and those wide receivers. Same goes with the defensive line. But their defense isn't as good as ours, and we have a more better defense than them. The Lions, when we play them, they're going to have a really good defense. Just so good. It's not even funny. We'll lose that game. If we decide not to lose that game, I would be shocked. But we have us upset. We have a chip on our shoulders, guys. We have a chip on our shoulders next week. Because if Tua Tagovailoa does come back and he is healthy, then we got something to worry about. But other than that, for the most part, this game is going to be up for the taking. And really, it's going to be up to us and up to the Indianapolis Colts to determine what is best for them as we improve those guys and get them back from the injury list and keep playing a good quarterback and improve the catching on the wide receiver end. And then the defensive line needs to get their stops and not let the yards eat them up. Stuff that's very typical of being a Colts fan in the last 15 years since we won Super Bowl 41 all the way back almost 20 years ago, which is hard to freaking believe. But we play the Dolphins next week. Let's just leave it at that. All right, that does it for me. We play the Dolphins next week, as mentioned. And I will keep you all updated on podcasts and that sort of stuff. But the Indianapolis Colts get the win today, 20-17. And Joe Flacco is the winning quarterback, with Will Levis being the losing one. Hope you all have an amazing day, an amazing week. For those taking midterms in college, I wish you all the best of luck. I wish all of the college grads, fifth-year seniors, whatever, hopefully you're having a okay time finding jobs. But I'm hoping that things can be okay for you, for us, and for me. But with Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up, we have an amazing deal on Amazon Music, and we've updated the copy link to that as well. So keep an eye out on the copy link change, and keep an eye out on future podcasts I plan to release. That does it for today, and go Colts!
Yeah! Yeah! Stand up! Indianapolis! Stand up! Ha! Go blue! Ha! Go blue! Come on! Go blue! Stand up! 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 Go blue! Come on! Colts Super Bowlers, Dome Rock and Rollers, go blue! Stand up! Get your hands in the sky! O to the D-line, come on, get behind the home team! Somebody scream! Go blue! Come catch the feeling, reach for the ceiling, cause we getting that banner and we'll hang it up high. Scream for the home team, new rings and trophies. Go blue! Go Colts! Go blue! Go Colts! You wanna rock, you wanna roll, we gonna win it. The Super Bowl, let's go! You wanna rock, you wanna roll, we gonna take it. The Super Bowl, you saw that comeback, you saw the drive. Tony D on the side, we got the pride, we got the